Hi everybody, we're going to be doing some oil pastel flowers today. You can make these for Mother's Day or you can just make them for fun. You're going to need a few supplies, so if it's something that you don't have right now and you have to get that later, that's okay. But you need a piece of white paper like this, a piece of black paper like this, and you need some oil pastels. These are just Crayola. These are fine. Any oil pastels will work, but you probably need like a variety of colors, will help a lot. And then a glue stick, scissors, and pencils. Or just one pencil. So that's all you need. Okay, so you guys are going to need to have 3 different colors for your oil pastel flowers. So it's best to pick a color that you're gonna use for your shadow. So this is gonna be like a darker color. So you're not, like for mine, I'm gonna choose red. You can also choose like a dark purple or dark blue, dark green, those all work very well. Then you're gonna wanna have a very light color. You can use like a yellow, it works very well. Any pastel color, so think pinks, light blues, light yellows. White also works very well as a highlight. And then a mid-tone, so this is gonna be my middle color. This is the color that most of your flower is going to be. So this is gonna be a color that you're gonna want. That's the color you're gonna like to see a lot. So those are the 3 colors that you need to choose. And then once you have that picked and you have a flower drawn, then you can start adding your color, which I will do in a demonstration. Okay, so what you wanna do is you're gonna start by drawing a flower lightly with a pencil. And you're gonna draw 1 petal at a time. And you wanna draw this lightly. And the trick with flowers, I think, is when instead of starting here, again in the middle for your petal, you start in the middle of the petal for the next petal, like this. It will look more natural, and you start in the next petal, and the next petal. You can kind of go this way too to kind of balance it out a little bit. And then the next petal, and you should have about 5 to 6 petals when you're all done. Okay, and if you have a weird like little area here where it looks kind of awkward, you can always just add a leaf there. And it just kind of like fills in that little gap, and it's fine. And maybe I add a leaf over here, and I add some veins in my leaf too. Maybe I add a little bit of a leaf here. I like to kind of put them in all the corners. It looks really nice when the leaves are in all these little corners. Okay, so with your oil pastels, you're going to choose your shadow or your darkest color first, and you're going to start in the middle of your whole flower and work your way up into the petal with the darkest color. And just go along one side. I'm choosing my right side to go up the side of the petal. You kind of want to go the same direction too. You don't want to kind of go all over the place and scribble a lot. Once you have that going up one side, then you're going to take your highlight, and I'm going to choose white as my highlight. Make sure that your white is cleaned off. I'm just going to do this on the side here. I had some blue on the side of this white, and I want to make sure that it doesn't get all over my orange flower. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to add my white in. And if it starts blending in with your red, that's okay. On the opposite side. Then you will take your mid-tone, which is my orange, and I'm gonna go over the red and the white, and I'm gonna blend it all together. And you wanna really fill it in and go over everything. If you feel like it's gotten too dark, you can always go back with your white. White is a great tool for blending, whether you're using colored pencils or crayons or oil pastels. You want to make sure that you're using your white as your blending tool. It works great. And you can see how that works. Okay, now if I do the second petal, I'm going to do the exact same thing, but I want to make sure that I'm sticking to the right side for my shadow again. So I start with my darkest red here, my shadow, and then I'm gonna go up the right side. And then I'm gonna use my white on the left. It looks pink, but it's white. It just has a lot of color mixed in with it already. And then I'm gonna take my orange and I'm gonna overlap, blending my colors together. And you wanna go back with that white and really brighten up that side so you can see where one petal goes from the next. I'm gonna do my leaves as well. The leaves, you can choose 2 shades of green and yellow, works really well. You can go ahead and outline everything in your darkest color. Again, start with your darkest color first. You're gonna outline all of your veins as well in your leaf. And then you're gonna go with your lightest color and fill in the inside of all the veins. And then you take your mid-tone, which happens to be this yellow green, and I'm just gonna blend this all together. The more blending, the better with oil pastels. You can always go back and add more yellow if you want to brighten something up. It should just look like that. Okay, so in yours, you would actually finish coloring every single petal and all of your leaves, but for time's sake, I am just going to stop now and cut this out so you can see what it would look like on the black paper. If you don't have black paper, you can use any colored construction paper that you want. You can pick, you know, any color, or you can also paint a piece of paper black or paint another color if you'd like. So we're gonna just cut around this. And I'm gonna show you, after we have this on your black paper, you can add more leaves. If you look at my example, there are more leaves that are on here than just these 4, and that's because I added them extra. Because the leaves will look different on the black paper than they do on the white paper. So once I take this and I place this down on my black paper, you can see how those oil pastels really pop. So now what I would do is I would glue stick this down. So just using my regular Elmer's glue stick here, and I would flip this over. Be very careful so you don't get it all over your black paper, but you're gonna glue stick it down really, really good on the corners, of course. And then you can always add more leaves or flowers afterward. You can also add a nice message or a quote if you're doing this for yourself or for your mom for Mother's Day. I thought a nice quote with like a white pencil or white oil pastel would look really, really nice. So I place that down like that. And then I can go in, like I said, and I can add some extra leaves in here if I wanted to, because they will look a little bit different on my black paper than they did on the white. Okay, so everyone, so this is how it should look at the end. Of course, you can, like I said, you can add more leaves to it, you can add more flowers, you can add multiple flowers on it if you want to. But one thing I did add at the end is I added a little bit more white for my highlights in the corners here so you can see where the petals really divide. And then I also added a small green dot right in the center there. You don't want it to be a huge circle because we're not really doing sunflowers. These are more tropical looking flowers. You just want a small tiny dot in the center to show where that center point is. I hope you enjoyed this lesson today, and I hope you guys have fun with your oil pastels. Thank you. Bye.